you doing? Welcome to another video, and as always, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you're not a resident of Chi-Town yet, make sure you subscribe. And as always, thank you sincerely for sitting at my table. We are going to dive in on an interesting topic on how social media has changed the landscape when it comes to dating. Dating has become a topic I don't really like talking about a lot, but it has become very interesting enough for me not to ignore. Because social media has made dating extremely difficult now. Extremely. For both men and women. For both men and women. Nobody is excluded. But one thing I am going to say about social media is it does have its advantages and disadvantages. But the one advantage that social media does have for ladies, and I'm going to say for ladies because obviously it works more for the ladies, that the option for ladies has increased dramatically when it comes to social media. For men, only some, you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of men who don't succeed on social media for the simple fact that you're battling men within the 1%. Within the 1%, let's be honest. Men within the 1% are dominating the men that are average. Basically, average earning men who don't have high income jobs, but are men that are suitable to date. You know what I mean? They're not bad men. They're not bad in relationships. They're willing to take care of a woman, but they're not given the opportunity for the simple fact that every single woman are battling for that 1% man. But there's an interesting show called 8 at the Table, which I'm going to link in the description, that talks about this situation in detail. Not much in detail that I would want them to go in, but in detail enough to basically follow what's going on social media. Let's dive in.
From social media.
No.
If you lived in Perth Amboy in the 90s.
We been was Instagram. Everybody was.
If you lived in Perth Amboy in the 90s, it wasn't no gram. You tried to find the best girl or the best dude within a 10-mile radius of where you live.
It wasn't one.
Now, with social media, you could meet and date a nigga in Indiana.
Let me fly you out.
Yes.
But that's the crazy part.
And that's not a bad thing, the fact that you could meet somebody in Indiana and go meet them. But the thing is, with the fact that the option has increased dramatically for women mostly, for men some, it doesn't give you that it doesn't ensure the fact that the person you're speaking to is faithful, because their attention is divided. It's divided towards 5 other people. So are you getting a fair chance? He or she getting a fair chance? No, because the attention is divided. Let's say for a woman, her attention is divided between 8 men. A guy, his attention is divided between 3 ladies. So none of them are giving that one individual that they decided to share the number to a fair opportunity to succeed in a possible relationship. Social media has decreased the chances of success. And that's the problem with social media. The social media has its advantages? Absolutely. But its disadvantages when it comes to relationship has increased dramatically and has caused the dating pool to be so bad these days. It's on a downward spiral. To find a successful person to start a relationship is almost zero to none. There's no number. You know what? There's no number. Social media has destroyed the possibility of developing relationships these days. Let's continue.
Because growing up back then, number 1 rule is you never trust the out-of-town girl. Right?
What?
The out-of-town girl was usually the hoes in that town that try to come over and play St. Mary in our town, and you bit the bait.
We dinosaurs, yo.
Well, these
we
rules,
aim for the out-of-town girl.
Nah, no.
That's
I don't
less
really
stress.
agree with
I
those
wanted
rules,
to be in
but
the suburbs so bad, dating one of them girls.
I was a suburb girl. They love me in the hood.
We learned from y'all mistake. We're like, oh, bro, this one is really a thought. But we didn't know because we didn't know we had no history on her. So now it's still the same way, except for now, instead of driving down the street, they taking a plane over to the next state. And they're pretending to be that there's something that they're not. And you got guys doing it, you got girls doing it, and then next thing you know, nobody knows anybody. Nobody knows anything about where they really come from, how they really were. Nobody knows about their real family background.
Because you don't like to talk to girls.
Exactly.
I'm not their therapist, though. I ain't their therapist, though.
Because why you don't know? Why you don't know?
Because they lie anyways, but regardless.
Wait a minute, Rico, and I know you're saying that people don't know each other. I just want to point this out. And I think this came up last week with old girl and like the why did I get married situation, whatever, or who did I marry? I just want to let everybody out here know this is a cheat code. If you are going to involve yourself with somebody, do a background check. It is not that hard. It's literally like
a real one?
Yes.
But that
A
shit be skewed
background
too.
check, like, I'm gonna let him say what he's gonna say because I want to hear his rebuttal towards that. You're gonna go that deep into a background check, which is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I mean, background check into what, criminal history or whatever, because some people gotten themselves into situations when they were younger that they can't escape from. I mean, it's in their record. So when you do a background check, you might be incriminating the person on something that he was not really involved with, but he just got caught up in the wrong place, wrong time type of situation. So a background check as to what? I mean, his finances, his criminal history. I mean, what are we talking about here?
No, I'm talking about a real background check. You can see
Like their finances and their history, like
criminal history.
don't do a background check on me.
What they owe.
Relax.
What they owe.
I'm not who I was.
Who they've been married.
Why are you giving?
Like literally, you can. This is literally how I like vet my tenants. So
I think that's
like,
dope.
I mean, but that's a real reason to give somebody a background check, though.
Yeah, like,
Thank you.
So let me ask you a question, right? If we let's just say hypothetically, we're going to create a scenario. Let's say, God forbid, your husband was beaten, right? And you stabbed him and you killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Now somebody, fast forward, goes, you're looking for an apartment and they run this shit on you. You got a manslaughter charge. That is a skewed thing because that record don't speak to who you are.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The background check, I'm not saying it's completely bad, but you can be eliminating a possible good person because the background check doesn't explain it in detail what transpired during that altercation that has given them a record. So, I mean, a background check, I think, is a bit too much, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't stand above correction. But in my opinion, a background check is a bit too much.
Or speak to your circumstance.
But if you really want to know why there's a manslaughter charge
She
on
got manslaughter. She can't rent from me.
I
ain't gonna necessarily go read the 40-page court document.
Well, somebody really not gonna mention the fact that they got a
Yeah,
manslaughter
but she's talking
charge,
about doing
though.
She said she gonna look
background check, so
background check.
that's not going to avoid. Yeah.
And I ain't gonna go
In
read
general.
the age.
But see, I am.
No,
She's a lawyer.
Motherfuckers that want my apartment. I'm going to the next one.
The easiest one.
No, this is all I'm saying. You're saying that's skewed. First of all, I think that is like an anomaly. Most people not running around here. Raise your hand if you got a manslaughter charge. Anybody in here? It's 10 people in here.
I've been manslaughtering the bullshit.
So like I'm saying, that is a one-off.
Like that.
But what I'm saying is that if you don't want to fall into the
Them
water
bitches
with
hoes.
the piss and the turds in it, spend the $10, $20 and get a background check on them. Go get you a friend that's a lawyer, a little law school friend or somebody. Got to be a law school in y'all town. Ask them to run it on their LexisNexis. It's free, and they get the version that has all the bells and whistles for free. Get them $10, and then they can do the background check. I promise you.
If you're in law school,
Listen, I have a friend right now.
For maybe tenants, but I mean, a relationship though. I mean, to what they owe, their financial history. I mean, there's some people that wind up in bad circumstances. I mean, people who started out young and got the opportunity to get 10 credit cards and they ran it up. Now they can't pay it. Now they in debt. They filed for bankruptcy, etc. You're going to see all of that and you're going to be like, oh, I'm not going to give you an opportunity because you filed for bankruptcy before, so you're excluded. I mean, a background check, I think, is a bit too much. It's a bit too much, I think. I mean, if you don't agree with me, put it down in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think. You know, and explain to me as to why a background check is absolutely necessary when you're trying to date someone. I mean, you can find out things during a conversation. And I'm not going to talk about intuition because intuition to me, it's bullshit. I mean, but during a conversation and you start to get to know someone, you can find out in actual real time what they're about and what they're willing to overcome and what they're willing to achieve in life and in the future. I mean, I'd rather that organic experience than going through a background check and completely eliminating them off the back. I don't know. All that background check she was talking about, and obviously we have gone beyond the fact of social media when it comes to dating. She went into the background check. All that crap that she was talking about background checking. When a man that comes who has money, looks good, looks amazing, sweet talks her ear off, she's going to skip that bullshit and just go after him, period. Because obviously we do know that men and ladies have bad decisions when it comes to dating. A lot of people in the internet, influencers always talk, and there's some influencers that only talk about ladies. They only talk about women who makes the bad choices, etc. But you find a lot of men who are in bad situations pick the wrong ladies. They pick the wrong ladies. That's why they find themselves in child support and having kids with ladies they never planned to marry because they made the wrong choices as well. That's the thing about a lot of influencers on YouTube, on TikTok, etc. They only talk about one sex when both sex have problems of their own. There's a lot of men who make bad decisions. Look at a lot of these rich guys or whatever who date these only model type ladies, and all of a sudden the relationship don't last. And the model type ladies is basically targeting their fortune. That's all they wanted after all is their fortune. So they make bad decisions all the time, and we're talking about 1% men who makes these stupid ass choices when it comes to ladies. But that's because, like I said, when it comes to social media, it has changed the dating pool dramatically. A lot of the men in the middle, and I'm gonna say the ladies as well, a lot of the ladies in the middle who can be really good life partners don't get the opportunities because when it comes to the ladies, the fitness models, the knockouts, the one with the BBLs, the one with the ass like an apple, they get all the attention, they get all the private messages in their DMs, while the lady right here who's average looking, I'm not trying to be insulting, I'm just saying the average looking ladies who got decent bodies or whatever, and yes, some can be slightly overweight, don't get the attention, don't get the private DMs, and honestly, despite that, they don't get the private DMs or whatever, they do have way more options than the average man and even the 1% men, because believe me, even though they're average, their DMs get flooded as well. The thing is about social media and dating is a big chaotic mess, and to me, I'm gonna say it is all because of social media, because the organic meeting between men and ladies has been completely eliminated. People don't want to approach each other out in public anymore. A lot of people find that weird. Me, I don't find it weird. I have no problem approaching a woman that I want to get to know at all. I have no problem in approaching a woman at all whatsoever, because a lot of people, when it comes to social media, they don't want to meet anyone at all when it comes to real life, when it comes to being out and walking about, being in a supermarket, being in a cafe, being approached or approaching. They don't want to meet people like that no more. They rather be in the DMs. Social media has killed the organic meeting between men and women. That's a fact. That's a fact. And in the process has killed dating. Because when you go into social media and when your only focus is to meet somebody on social media, you're getting most likely a lot of people who are flakes, a lot of people who is not organic, a lot of people who tell you what they want to hear just to get one thing out of you, whether it's money, whether it's just sex, whatever the case may be, instead of having that organic meeting between somebody out in the market, out in the cafe, etc., it's just mind-boggling what dating has become. It's just mind-boggling. But anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think about social media, what you think about this background check as well that this lady was spewing. And as well, this is Black Shy Guy. Thank you, as always, for sitting at my table. I'm out of here. Peace.
Dunking and hitting jumpers, kept Marvin Rich with him. Leo Rose like, why you dump us? Saturday's deposit, chasing SunTrust. Word to Donald, that no one will ever trust us. About to put that in my bio.